Oh, why can't I tap in? Why can't I write it? Okay. Are we go on my own? Yeah, I can't share it to my page. I don't know why. I'll share it in a minute. Okay. Hi. Welcome to the Truth Be Told with myself, Tbeyb, here on KUAW Radio. If you have an event or business that you'd like sponsored here on KUAW Radio, make sure that you send us an email at kuaw985@gmail.com. If you're watching me live on Facebook, hey, and if you're and Instagram, how y'all doing? And if you're listening to me over the air via TuneIn or via the air and you like to watch me live over Facebook, make sure to hop over to our Facebook page, KUAW Radio. Make sure to like and share that page with your family and friends so that they are able to tap into the great content that we have here on KUAW Radio. We are KUAW Radio all across the board: YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure to like and share those pages via your pages. We are a listener sponsored station, so we appreciate all the love that you guys show us continuously every week, especially me here with the Truth Be Told. I appreciate you guys for tapping in and listening to me and all the comments and everything. So we're gonna get right into it. Y'all see the shirt? So how about them Chiefs? Yes, I'm so excited about the turnout of the Chiefs game this past Sunday. It was a nail biter, but we pulled through. Yeah, it's a lot to go on with that game. Like Josh Allen did his thing, Buffalo and them did their thing and everything. So we definitely appreciate it. This week got the Bengals coming up, so hopefully it's not a nail biter like it was, but we come out with the W, and you know what that means, LA. But anyway, so yes. So with the game going over, so let's talk about the game. There's people talking about the overtime rules, right? And then we're gonna get into something else that Brittany did. But so they're talking about the overtime rules, and they want okay, so here's my take. I do believe that each team should be able to have a possession of the ball, right? Now we came out, we scored a touchdown. So if they would have got a chance to retaliate, they should have got a chance to at least go for what am I thinking? Down. You know what I'm saying? To see if they could get a touchdown, or a drive to see if they could get a touchdown. Now, if they didn't get a touchdown, they didn't get a touchdown and it's over. But they should at least be given a chance. Now, if they do get a touchdown, then it's the next team that scores wins. I feel like those would be fair overtime rules for the NFL. I do feel like it's something they should look into. It benefited us this week, but I'm pretty confident in our defense too, that if they would have got the ball, like they could have stopped them from getting a touchdown. I do feel like Buffalo as well, their defense should have stopped us from getting a touchdown. If they would have just held us to a field goal, they would have got an opportunity to touch the ball. It's football. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? So it can kind of go both ways. I see a lot of people's perspective, going into the whole overtime debate. Like I do. I can't even take that away from nobody or nothing like that. So definitely, yeah. We should look into that, some petitions or something, whatever. We should make some changes to that. Even though Buffalo was like one of the teams that voted against it like 2-3 years ago when they brought it up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been brought up several times to the NFL regarding these overtime rules. So it was exciting though. And I'm glad we came out with the win. Also, with going into the winning, right? So the celebration. Okay. So I don't know if y'all have seen this or seen this yet or whatever. So Brittany Matthews, which is Patrick Mahomes' fiance, she is being drugged, all across social media and everything like that, because she did like a champagne spray out into the fans. after the win. Okay. I really wish y'all just leave her alone. For real. But and it's so good. Anyway. Yes. So I don't know why. If no one who was actually affected by the little champagne spray celebration has came out and said anything or whatever, I don't really feel like it should be anyone else's business to go through. We all get excited, like, come on now, that was a game. Like, people know how celebrations and stuff go. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't understand all the scrutinizing of her, that backlash and stuff that she's getting from that. I don't agree with that. You know, I feel like people need to find something better to do with their time. Because there's better things that we could really be talking about besides somebody spraying champagne over somebody after a celebration. So leave the girl alone. Okay, that's my take on that. So speaking of stuff that we can spend more time on talking about, let me see. Oh, dang, that ain't what I meant to do. I'm sorry, y'all. But that we can spend more time talking about, right? There was a and I'm sorry, I should have had this pulled up, but y'all gonna have to bear with me. It is what it is. There was a I don't know whether, see, that I want to get it right. That's why I want to look for it, because I want to get it right. What is T.I.'s name on here? Here we go. Here we go. So let me see. It says Mitch says the quiet part out loud made shocking racist statement to defend opposition to voting rights. But who is Mitch? I'm trying to figure out. My phone up there. Okay. So anyway, so I guess he is senator, governor, something. I don't know. Some guy, Mitch. He's somewhere up there in the government. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So apparently he had made he made like a racist statement. And I'm gonna tell y'all what the statement was so we can So he basically says African American voters are voting in just as high as percentages as Americans. Okay. Mitch McConnell. Okay. So this statement tickled a lot of feathers. Y'all put in the comments and let me know. Let me tell me what y'all think, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. I'm looking at both of them, but tell me what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Because I know why people feel offended. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing, and this is kind of going to take us into the second part of this as well. Oh, I'm talking too fast. But this guy hopefully take us all the way into the second half. So Mitch McConnell, he made this statement. Black Americans are voting just as high percentages as Americans. Now, there's several things wrong with this statement. Now, we do know that voting amongst our people has risen over the last couple of years. You know, just because, I mean, we got to do something, even though there's a lot of people that don't even think that our votes count and things like that. You know, you still have those people out there as well. However, I'm sorry, I need to get back to my KUAW things too. Okay. So, yes. So the whole, this all comes in a conference that he was having about the opposition in voting rights, the suppression of voters and our votes and things like that. Things that we've been dealing with, you know, over the past couple of elections and probably deal with on local levels as well when it comes to elections, governors, and everything. Because y'all know, I think local voting is kind of more important than federal, I guess, voting. Like, you know, the president, all that. Like, yeah, that's so cool, but who the governor, who the mayor, who the sheriff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where you live, like, take care of your surroundings, right? But anyway, so yes. Now, here's the thing. So I said there's several things wrong with this statement, right? So one, there says he says African Americans, which we know African Americans came more in like the 1950s, and Reverend Al Sharpton, you know, brought that term into thing. The problem with African American is African American does not tie you to anything, right? It ties you to a continent that most of us probably didn't even come from. You know, let's be real. But it doesn't tie you to like a nation or a country or any land or anything like that. So in a sense, it's nothingness. Y'all gotta take heed to this, because this is all gonna tie in. Like I said, this is gonna take us to the second half. So you know what I'm saying? That term's there. But then you have American, right? He specifically put in a separation. Said African Americans vote as just as a high rate as Americans. So we are not considered Americans. What are we considered? You know what I'm saying? Where is the hold on now, we got a problem now. See, that's a problem in your thinking, right? And see, I need to be writing notes so I can bring myself back, because I be getting off on tangents. Y'all know me. But y'all gotta flow with me. So bear with me or whatever. Y'all have to make some comments and stuff, bring me back, right? But so the separation, it says, so we not Americans, right? And now, see, here's my problem with that, right? Several problems. There's so many problems with this, right? Okay, before I even go into that, the fact that he said that, the fact that he has that separation in his mind lets me know that he should not be in our government. That's the problem that we have in our government. See, we have these older, and it's a certain stereotype, and I don't like to be about it, but this is the truth be told, so we're going to speak truth. It's a certain stereotype. You have the 50 plus European male mindset, right? And there's a separation. No matter what has happened over the years, over these last 50 years that they have even, you know, been born in how they've been raised, 25, like, well, no, we in 2022. So we gotta take it back a little bit further than that. So maybe 60s, you know, like the mix of 55 and up. I don't know the age range, but it's a older, you know what I'm saying, European male mindset, most of the men that's in government, right? It's a separation. As long as you see me as someone separate from you, you're never going to be in favor of anything that's in favor of me, right? We used to talk about this quote, is these lists of quotes, and I got to find it. I probably have to bring it back out next week or whatever. But, you know, over presidents and things, that statements they have made about how they have to create this ideal of separation, and this ideal that there is one species of humans. That's really hard for me to say, but one species of humans is superior to the other, right? And for some reason, Europeans have decided that they know they're not the superior race, but they have convinced us that they are the superior race. I'm just keeping it real, right? So the fact that he has this separation in his mind is a problem right there. You should not be in government. You should not be someone in charge of making laws that is supposed to provide me a sense of security, as well as you and my children, your children. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, That right there. And even as us, and see, that's the thing. They say that, never mind, I ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole nother different statement, right? So then African Americans, right? So we go back to this African American term. Now, here's the thing. They say that truth is fact and truth cannot be changed. For some reason, our people have been changed and get changed. The labels that are placed upon us are changed probably about every 50 years, maybe. I don't know the exact timeline, but it's somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? 25, something new always come out there. Something. I mean, you think you a Negro, nigga, colored, Black, African American. The newest ones, if you kind of spiritual, you might be a Hebrew Israelite these days. You know, like the ones that know the truth more American. I throw that out there. But I'm just saying, you have all these titles. Somewhere within all the confusion lies truth. Somewhere. Because the ideal is, and see, here's the thing. This is why they say they talk about overly spiritual people. I don't see the time nowhere. Okay. That was 17. Okay. So this is they say about overly spiritual people, right? Because I'm sorry, my eye itching. You have to be awoken, just to be able to see the confusion. I mean, I don't even know what word comes from it, right? So we go back to this term African American. They convince everyone that, you know, it's African American, right? And so African American comes from the ideal of the Atlantic slave trade. Yeah. So you have the Atlantic slave trade, right? Atlantic slave trade ties in with Christopher Columbus, if you don't know that. You remember in elementary school, last week we was talking about how we cannot depend on others to educate our children. And we cannot always take comfort in the fact that what they are educating our children is in their best interest. And that is true. See, men gotta have certain morals. You gotta have certain, not men. And when I say men, I'm talking about humans, right? Not the male species. Let's just get that understood for this segment. I'm always scratching here. But so I'm talking about the human species, right? But we gotta understand that. Where was I going with that? I don't even know. I just lost my whole train of thought because I went into the human thing or whatever and talk about humans. But men need to understand that. I don't know. I'll come back. It'll come back to me. So anyway, so the slave trade, right? And so they come to evince us that idea that everyone. So everything ties back into everything else. So the slave trade ties into Christopher Columbus. The idea that Christopher Columbus of what we've been taught, right? Also with that, you have Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving tells you about the indigenous people that were slaughtered, supposedly. See, you got to understand that the pen is mightier than the sword. See, if I can convince you that this happened, if I can write it in enough books, if I can put it in a history book, if I can teach it to you in school like it is true fact, it becomes, after generation becomes embedded in your brain as fact. But just because a lie is told over and over again and believed by the masses does not make it true. Men, that's what I was saying when I was saying men, humans, we got to understand that we have to live up to certain morals, right? You got to find principles to stand on for yourself, right? Mine just happen to be love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Truth being one of those. That's why, I tell people, I get off on my soapbox. That's why I tell people, like, I don't lie. I'm not about to lie. Like, if I did something that I wanted to do, then I did it. If I said it, then I said it. I probably calculated the consequences in my head. So I'm pretty sure I thought of all the outcomes, like, and I was prepared to take those consequences. Yeah, I did it. Like, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said it. What's up? Like, anything else? Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's just my little bit of tea put in up. But anyway, truth, right? So all these things tie in together. Now, Thanksgiving tells you that they silent indigenous people. That means that there was already people here, right? We will get into the definition of American. I told y'all all this is going to tie in together. We're talking about the definition of American. Now, if you look into the etymology of American, it tells you a copper skin. It describes what an American actually is. See, the thing about the Europeans is they have convinced us that they are the Americans. They have convinced themselves that they are Americans, knowing that they came from Europe. Like, y'all came over here. You were not here. You cannot be the definition of what an American is if we want to be truthful about it. But see, we, our people, are not so much concerned about the separation because we here now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nelson Mia. Like that, but this is where we are. This is what we have. We have this big old melting pot of what we live in and what we call of what America is now, and that's just what it is. But still, we see in this government, we see in everyday actions of what we do, where we go, we see all these things or whatever in our day-to-day lives. We see this separation. We feel this separation. One reason is because we believe the separation. We got to get the belief out of there. See, your thoughts, right? I had this thing, it's on my phone, but you know what? It might be in my, it's probably in here too. It says, where is it? And it was talking about self-discipline, right? Because self-discipline, to have self-discipline, you have to be able to control your thoughts. You know what? All right, by Instagram, I'm out. I'm about to go on break anyway. Y'all can catch the second half. I'm talking to Instagram real quick because I need my phone. But y'all can catch the second half on Facebook. Hop over to KUAW Radio. Okay, so what I'm saying to y'all, right? Self-discipline, being able to control your thoughts is right as part of self-discipline, right? And so what I'm saying with that is we have to be able to control our thoughts and what we think, because we believe in the fairy tales, not really the fairy tales. We believe in the story. You know what I'm saying? We believe in the story. You got so many different people that believe in the story that contradicts itself. You can't tell me that at one point in the Atlantic slave trade that we all came from these slave ships, but then tell me that Christopher Columbus and them came over here and tricked the indigenous people who were defined as Americans, copper skin, look just like me. Noses, we see pictures, we know what they look like. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot tell me that at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So there's no way that that's even true. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. There's no way that that's even true. It's not possible, right? It's not possible. Two things can be true at once. If the circumstances permit, right? So let's talk about the Atlantic slave trade. And I'm not trying to get too deep in this, but it's going to go into the second half of the show. So the Atlantic slave trade, these ships, right, that held all these people. One, how long y'all think it's gonna take to get to Africa on the ship? They say this is a 3-month ship, 90 days. You gotta have water to keep all these people alive. They said they threw them over. A lot of people died. So how many made it? Come on now. There is a theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there's a theory out there that the ships weren't really going from Africa. You think they Central America. You got Cuba, you got Jamaica, you got Haiti. They just taking them on a boat ride. It's like a little you know what I'm saying? Like the cruises that we go on these days, right? Like it's telling them that, yeah, you coming from Africa. They beating it into them, telling them you not this, you not that, you this. You know what I'm saying? Slapping labels, slapping names onto them, because once you get into so much confusion and so much falsehood, you become falsehood, right? So if, it's so much things because we feisty. We had so many people talking about these comments that Mitch McConaughey made, right? African Americans, he disrespecting us, not throwing us in as Americans. Well, if you claim to be African American, like, where is that? See, we talk about the Constitution, we talk about truth, we talk about the law of the land. You got to understand what dynamics of the thing of the matrix. I hate to call it a matrix, but dang, it's a matrix that you're living in, right? I'm sorry, is it my time for break? I got 4 minutes. So you got to understand that. And we have to become prevalent to that information. And here's the thing. They used to say if you want to hide something from I think it was probably colored back then. You want to hide something from a colored person, put it in a book, right? Because truth is hidden in plain sight. Nobody's really keeping you from the information, but yourself, your own thoughts, because you're fine with the programming, you're fine with the thinking and going along with that. Right now, you're fine with that, right? It just takes a brave few to, but like I said, once you become aware of the situation and you actually want change, and the thing about it is you can want change for the whole, but you have to change yourself, right? Like you have to be the change that you want to affect or that you want to have out in the entirety. Right? You have to be that change. And I think it was Biggie or something. I think I had never mind. Anyway, but yeah, it's like, you have to be the change in the world that you want to see in the world. So it starts with your own self and then your family and your children and generations and generations. That's why we talk so much about the children, because people don't understand how important children are to the continuance of just information and knowledge and how we are. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we continue down the slippery slope that we're going, it's going to be to a point where our people will be just like robots. You will have a whole bunch of people living in falsehood, lower self, hell, whatever you want to call it. I think I might open up the second half with that heaven or hell thing just a little bit. You got a little taste of it, but it's living in hell, because when you're living in falsehood, the things, and you're just going with whatever someone told you, and you're just accepting that program, and then eventually everyone will be programmed the same to believe the same thing, right? After generations of generations, if you're passing them down, I said, if we continue to go on this slippery slope, because where do we learn all these things from? We learn these things in school. You know what I'm saying? We learn these things in the public school system. Texas right now, I'm trying to take out the idea of slavery, which is, to me, is a good thing, but don't replace it with a lie. Talking about people came over here for looking for work. Like, what? Nah. Like, you just gonna replace one lie with another lie? Like, tell the truth. Like, stand on the truth. And the things about it is, if they're not gonna teach our children the truth, we have to teach our children the truth. We got to know the truth for ourselves, but we have to teach our children the truth. We can't depend on nobody else to teach our children the truth. Why? They don't want them to know the truth. Anyway, getting on the soapbox, but so it's time for me to go on break. Like I said, we're going to take this 90-second break of our sponsors, and we'll be right back. What's today? The 25th? All righty. So thank you guys for allowing us to take that quick break. Again, if you have an event or a business that you would like sponsored here on KUAW, make sure to send us an email at kuaw985@gmail.com. We are Kansas City's global community radio station, so we are here for the community. Help us serve you and send in your emails, your businesses, and things like that, right? Okay, so before we went off the air, I was talking about this self-discipline, right? Let me see this card because my phone didn't start doing something else. I don't know. So what I was trying to share, it says self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do, right? So let me tell you, we talked about, I just ended that saying that, we living in falsehood. We're living, someone else basically is controlling the way that we think. If we don't stand on truth, if we don't stand on principles, if we don't have morals about ourselves, someone else is controlling that. So it's either you're controlling it or you're allowing someone else control it. We get controlling through. That's why I tell my grandma to quit watching the news. Quit watching the news every day. If you want to watch it every now and then, okay, cool. But every single day, no. Quit doing that. Like, because why? And it puts fear. Fear is a killer. Because there's so many things. Fear controls. So fear is, to me, right? Fear is one of the most controlling factors of how to control a mass amount of people. Now, let me tell you why. This go back into our heaven or hell conversation. Because a lot of people live their lives in fear. I don't want to do this because I don't want to go to hell. You fear this place called hell, right? Or I have to do this gratification. I have to do this to go to this glamorous place, heaven, roads of gold, right? So, these ideas. Now, see, the truth about this situation, because this is the truth be told. So the truth about the situation is those tactics were stolen from a certain group of people to ingest fear to control a mass group of people, right? So they take the things outside of you. And so, but with your thoughts, you really control whether if you're living right here on earth in this dimension, if you're living in a heaven or a hell. If I convince you to be falsehood, if I can convince you to be this lower vibration energy, right? So not so much African Americans, but like I opened up this show with, I told you that African American, we didn't have so many names because you had Negro, you have the N-word. I guess Negro is the N-word, and then you have another version of it. Then you have color, then you have Ethiopian at one point, you have Black, you have African American, you have all these things, right? That's continuously changing, causing confusion. Now, you're living in nothingness if you subject yourself to these thoughts that what is the word that I'm looking for? You accept, basically. We're just going to go with the word accept. So you accept basically this truth about yourself. This is who you are, right? So when we understand that words have power and that who you are, like the God in you as a human, and we're talking about humans here, right? The God in you, who you are, how you are magnificently made. You know what I'm saying? How people can't understand that so much science goes into trying to understand the human mind and human brain, like so much studies, like it can never be capped. Like it's infinite. It's continuously, they're continuously finding things about finding out the things that a human body can do, right? So who you are, if you take away, if I feel this with a whole bunch of confusion, I take away your identity, I take away your language, I take away your, see, a lot of people like to call it religion, right? But see, religion sounds so harsh because now religion is tied to something so that most people like go against, right? Or kind of like protect themselves from, especially in newer generations, right? So because of what we've seen of older generations. But religion, when you get into the etymology of religion, it means like regular, which means to bind, and then it means to bind back to like oneness or with the creator, right? So we always need some type of pattern. There's never gonna not be a pattern, for one to take, because you got to know how to get back to where you came from. There has to be a pattern. Even people look for footsteps in the sand, you retracking steps. Like there has to be something that leads me back to where I'm supposed to be, which is oneness with my creator, right? With the universe, being able to manipulate the energy and the things around me, the things that happen in my life. See, it's described as the law of attraction. You know what I'm saying? The law of attraction, right? So to manipulate these things, and not manipulate, that sounds like the wrong word, but to be able to use these tools that are here for us, you have to have a certain understanding. If I confuse you and let you not know who you are and take all these things away from you, eventually you'll tie back into nothingness, and I control your thoughts. We know who the I is in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to speak racist or anything like that, but history is history. So I don't even have to say it. Like, we here, you know what I'm saying? But we know who the I is in the situation. I control your thoughts. I control who you are. I control what you do. Because if you don't control your thoughts, we just said self-discipline. Hold on, let's go back to it. We just said self-discipline begins with mastering of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you cannot control what you do, right? In any sense, if someone else is good, you're like a puppet. Who's tired of being puppets? And think about it. Y'all don't even have to believe me. Get in the comments, you know what I'm saying? Write it back. We can chalk it up about it. But think about it. Just take this week to think of how many things you are doing on autopilot that you're just programmed to do because that's what you think you're supposed to be doing. Mastering your thoughts, right? Even when it comes to treating other people a certain way, when it comes to everything that you do, we make so many choices a day, dog. You can't even count how many thoughts you have a day, how many choices you make a day. As soon as you wake up and put your feet on the ground, you are making a choice. Am I about to go downstairs and fix a cup of coffee, or I'm about to go in here and brush my teeth? Am I gonna make up my bed? Am I gonna read a book? Am I gonna pray? Am I gonna meditate? It's all a choice. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you do, and from then on out until you decide you make the choice to lay back down and go to sleep. That's how many choices you make throughout the day. Self-discipline is controlling that thought. Not the radio, not the TV program that you put on. Be conscious of the things that you put inside your mind. Be conscious of the music that you listen to. Be conscious of the podcasts that you listen to. That's why I say watching the news is so crazy, because certain things instill fear. It instills fear. If you have a fear of being who you are, and that's another thing that we're getting into, right? Because you have so many people that want to be a real N-word. We have people they're not concerned about, okay, yeah, we've been all these names, but who are we really? There's no concern. There's no desire to find out. But see, if you don't know who you are, why would you want to be something made up? Because if you knew who you were, I'm telling you, because I know. You know what I'm saying? I know. I'm very confident in that. I can say that on the Truth Be Told platform. I know. Like I said, it's right there. It's in our face. It's in the books. It's not hidden. It's not hidden at all. So if you do the research into who you were, how can you want to be anything else? What? You want to be a dick? What? No. Why would you want to do that? Like, do you know who I am? Like, that type of confidence to walk around with. I'm not ignorant. I'm not running out here on a program. I'm not out here being a hoochie mama, like, you know what I'm saying? A thought, using my body, like selling myself, my self-respect, my morals, anything like that. My body of how they want to portray how women should be. I'm not angry. I'm not an angry Black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not none of those things. When it comes to the men side of it, I don't want no man out here, don't know who they are, shoot them up, bang, bang, don't have no caring sense for the next brother, the one in front of his face, taking fathers from their children over what? Over, you know what I'm saying? Stupid stuff. Like, no, that's not attractive. Your pants halfway down, I can see your whole your butt. Like, no, I want the man sexy with a suit and a Rolex and to know how to get some money, not steal some money. Like, I hear that you're not just ignorant to reality. That's what it is. And see, the thing about it is, I talk about this too. Our people, again, we like to cling on to things and make them ours. Right? For some reason, the N word is ours. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody else say it. You can't call me that, but we can call each other that. You know what I'm saying? We made it ours, right? I'm Black and I'm proud. We made it ours. You know what I'm saying? Try to change the meaning of it, try to make a acronym out of it, basically taking the words to define other words. Like, no, that's an acronym. That's not a meaning, right? So we use these things, we do these things, and so we do these things, right? And trying to make, like I said, make them ours, right? But it's not. Because if you break down the definition of the word, the etymology of the word and what it means ignorant. You can look it up however you want to do it. It means ignorant. And here's the thing. We all are ignorant to something, right? Because knowledge is infinite. So there's always, ignorant just means that you don't know. You haven't found out yet, right? That's all it means. But once you know better, you do better. So once you know better, it should be your duty to find out. It should be your duty to represent. Here's the thing. I don't want to subject myself to lower when I'm higher, right? As humans, we are higher beings. We have responsibilities. We have a soul, thinking, willing, reasoning, understanding, right? We have these things that a lot of species aren't granted the pleasure, but we don't even control them. We're not even being who we're supposed to be. We're being what someone told us we're supposed to be. From how we live our daily lives, from how a lot of people's self-image, that's all this plastic surgery, all these things that have, baby, if Sarah Button, was that her name? I know Black History Month coming up next month. The girl they put on display in the farm, she had the big boobs and the big butt, and they used to put her. I think it's Sarah. I really believe. Man, look, I got my phone right here in my hand. I think it really is Sarah or something. They used to put her in like zoos, like she was like what's they call it? When some part of the show, she was like the act, part of the amusement, the entertainment, right? I think her name was Sarah. I thought it started with a B. No. Look, I'm about to find it for y'all in this little bit of time that I got left. Man, I can't find it. I'm gonna try to find it. Let me see. Cause her body, they still Sarah Bratman. That's who it is. Sarah Bratman. So she was like, you know, they gotta like to look that up. Y'all know it's one of y'all favorite months. Y'all know I can't stand Black History Month. I do not feel like we need a month. Like our history is American history, 12 months a year, 365 days. We do not need a month. We need to quit claiming that. Like, let it go, okay? But anyway, man, y'all gotta be some strong listening followers of me, baby, because I speak that real. But here's the thing, it's the truth be told. Anything I say, you can go look it up. If you have questions or want any research, anything like that, because man knows not by being told. You got to do your own research. You got to dive into your own thinking and everything like that. Feel free to reach out to me via my personal social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, any of that. I would love to chop it up with my viewers. So I'm with all that. I want all the smoke. But anyway, so yeah, so even to the ideal of that, like what's going on now with the self-image of ourselves, right? It's all about how someone else perceives how we should be. Even the ideal of family was talking about marriages and everything like that, but it's like when you know where you came from, when you get a glimpse of what it is you actually came from, you ain't gonna want to be nothing else. I can't allow you to even call me anything else, to address me as anything else than what I am. And we cannot give these other people, you know, the Christopher Columbuses and the outcasts of Europe that came over here and did all what they did in 1492. You know what I'm saying? Like with all that stuff that happened or whatever, when them people came over here, we can't let them just accomplish their goal and just make us wipe out who we really were, who we really are, not even were. Because we still them same people today. It's just suppressed. It's suppressed in our subconsciousness. It's suppressed, and the thing about it is we're moving subconsciously. When we start moving consciously, then it's know thyself. People get into the Egyptianology and stuff like that or whatever. Y'all heard that term. If you went into that, know thyself. But what does it mean to know thyself? Know who you are. If you know who you are, then you're less reluctant to control. That's what I wanted to say. When you know who you are, you're less reluctant to control. So it's either this: you want to be controlled, or you want to control yourself. Self-discipline. Learn how to control your thoughts in everything that you do. Understand universal laws. Understand cause and effect. Understand what you put out is what you get back. In any shape or form. You got to understand that. You got to know that, and you got to live on that consciously with every choice you make. We just talked about how many choices we make, and it starts by defining who you are, what you call yourself, what you answer to. See, somebody can call you anything. It's about what you answer to. I'm going to tell y'all one thing, and then we're going to get into the Holy Covenant of Asiatic Nation so we can get out of here. And I think I'm going to break that down. I always said that, but it's the beginning of the year. So, yeah, I'll do it for the first show in February. I think that's next week. Next Tuesday is the first. So, yeah. But anyway, what was I about to say? I get into that next with the Holy Covenant. Knowing who you are, knowing yourself, controlling your thoughts. I don't know. I lost it. I'll be losing my train of thoughts, y'all. That's why I gotta stay on the course of what I'm talking about. I really lost it, and I don't got time to kind of remember it. But take control of your thought. Oh, knowing who it starts to knowing who you are, right? Knowing about yourself, discipline. You know, control your thoughts. It's important. So either be controlled or be the one in control. You gotta take a pick. And it, like I was saying, it starts about knowing who you are, what you answer to. Oh, that's what I was saying. People can call you anything. It's all about what you answer to. So I was going to tell y'all this story. When I fill out applications, right? You know how they always ask you for your race? I put human. I always check the box other and write human. And I know people be mad. I done had some supervisors ask me about it. And I tell them, like, what's your race? I'm human. That's my race. What are you talking about? Like, because anything else you wouldn't understand. That don't apply to you. I'm not going to let you call me black. Black is nothing. I'm not going to let you put me in that category. No, that ain't me. Sorry. But anyway, you see the bay on the end of my name. Not just okay. Anyway, Holy Covenant Edgiac Nation, we're going to get up out of here. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. You are the children of one father, provided for by his care. The breasts of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bondeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity, assist him. If thy sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace.